elevation meant being tired. I thought if I wasn't exhausted, then maybe I wasn't growing. If I wasn't overwhelmed, then I wasn't ambitious enough. If I wasn't stretched thin, then maybe people wouldn't take me seriously. This season taught me something very, very different. Elevation does not require exhaustion. And today, we're unpacking that. Welcome to the Simpli Edit, our weekly lifestyle diary here on the Simply Luxe Network. This is where we talk about living well, dressing with intention, and protecting your peace and building that life that feels good and that actually works. I'm Stacy, founder of Simply Luxe, and this is this week's edit. The world sells elevation like this: more visibility, more content, more output, more meetings, just more noise. And if you're not doing more, then you're just falling behind. But what I've realized, most people aren't elevating, they're just escalating. They're increasing volume, but not the value. And there's a difference. Escalation equals louder. Elevation equals higher. Escalation drains, but elevation, it refines. I had to ask myself a hard question this year. Am I building something sustainable, or am I performing growth? Because performing growth will burn you out every single time. So I'm not loud by nature. I am not the command the room with volume person. I lead with clarity, with systems, and with a steadiness. And for a long time, I thought that meant maybe people wouldn't take me super serious. Because the world we live in today glorifies high energy leadership, constant visibility, constant access. But here's the truth: introverted leadership elevates differently. It's strategic, it's paced, it's intentional, and it definitely requires decompression. If you're someone who needs quiet after meetings, thinks before responding, protects your energy, then you are not alone and you're not behind. You're wired for sustainable elevation, but only if you stop trying to operate like everyone else does. Let's talk about the lie that work-life balance means that you're lazy. Because somewhere along the way, balance became synonymous with mediocrity. If you leave work on time, you're not hungry enough. If you don't answer emails at night, then you're not committed enough. If you protect your weekends, then you're not building fast enough. But here's what I've learned as both a leader and a founder. Burned out people make reactive decisions, but balanced people make more strategic ones. When I protect my evenings, I show up better the next day. I make clear decisions. I don't overcommit out of stress. That is not laziness. That's executive function. That is leadership. Elevation without exhaustion requires discipline and not depletion. This is the practical part. Let's talk decompression window. After a high output environment, be it work, travel, meetings, creating content, your nervous system just needs a bridge. Not a complete crash, but a bridge. And here's what mine looks like. So that transition ritual. I come home, take off my shoes, get out of my work clothes, and then I lower the lights. I light a candle. Sometimes it's silence and no scrolling. Sometimes it's just watching TV, but not the news. Something repetitive. Either my tea, maybe folding laundry, a little organization, listening to my book. That 20 to 30 minute window protects the rest of my evening. Without it, everything feels sharp, but with it, everything feels regulated. Elevation requires recovery, and recovery is not weakness, it's maintenance. Now let's talk about something people don't factor into elevation enough, and that is your relationships. When you're elevating, your energy shifts, your focus sharpens, your standards rise, and your tolerance for chaos decreases tremendously. If you don't intentionally protect your relationship rhythm, elevation can isolate you. For me, protection looks like undistracted conversation, phone down dinners together, shared rituals, not grand gestures, but consistency. Elevation without relationship protection becomes lonely, and lonely ambition isn't luxury at all. It's ego. Real elevation expands your life, it does not shrink it. I think I'm realizing this. Refinement is the new luxury. Not more, but better. Better tailoring, better systems, better boundaries, and better conversations. Refinement doesn't require chaos. It requires clarity. When you refine, you spend less impulsively, you speak less defensively, you move less reactively, and everything becomes more intentional. Yeah, that's elevation. Not louder, but sharper. This spring is not about acceleration, it's about precision. I'm not adding more, I'm editing more. I'm refining my wardrobe, my content systems, my social circles, and of course, my calendar. Less access and more alignment. Less urgency and more intention. Spring isn't reinvention, it's polish. I used to think elevation meant collapse at the top. Now I know it means stability at the next level. Elevation doesn't require exhaustion, it requires refinement. And that's this week's Simply Edit. If something resonated, carry it with you into the week ahead. I'll see you right back here for the next edit. And next week, we're talking about money, 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 money. Money, standards, and the soft life. Because when you refine your life, your finances shift too.